When leaders like Charlie Kirk, men who stood boldly for truth, for masculinity, for calling men higher, are taken from us, we have to pause and ask ourselves, who benefits when strong men are silenced? Every man is created with three core desires: a battle to fight, an adventure to live, and a beauty to rescue. Don Eldredge said that in Wild at Heart, and it still rings true today. But instead of raising men to fight, lead, and protect, our culture is drugging men into passivity. And the number one weapon being used against us isn't a gun. It isn't a politician. It isn't even cancer culture. It's pornography. Look around. More men over 30 are living at home with their parents than ever before. Marriage rates and birth rates are on a free fall. Depression, loneliness, and suicide among men are skyrocketing. We've got a crisis of manhood. If you dig past all the excuses, past the economy, past the politics, past the food supply, you'll find one weapon at the very core of this crisis: internet pornography. Porn is not just entertainment. Porn is not harmless. Porn is a weapon against men, and we're going to expose it here today. Welcome to the Rebuilt Man podcast. My name is Coach Frank Rich, founder and host here, and it's been our mission for the last 6 years to help men just like you, men caught up in the depths of pornography addiction, men that have been sold this lie for decades, break the chains, reclaim their identity, rebuild their lives, and step into a life of freedom. If you're new to the podcast, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn those post notifications on if you're watching us here on YouTube. But brother, we got to be aware that masculinity is under attack. You see it in media where strong men are mocked. You see it in families where fatherhood is absent. You see it in our churches where too many men sit silently instead of standing boldly. And porn fits perfectly into this war because nothing strips a man of strength faster than shame. Nothing isolates him more effectively than secret sin. Nothing confuses his sexuality faster than endless novelty fed to him on demand. Think about it. The number one porn search in the world right now is transgender porn. Does that sound like an accident? Or does that sound like an agenda designed to confuse, distort, and destroy the very core of what God created a man to be? Now, it's a strategic weapon being used against men. Brothers, the average age of first exposure to porn is somewhere between the ages of 8 to 11. Myself, I was 6. And our young men today aren't stumbling across a single magazine in the woods. They have millions of 4K videos streaming into their brains before they even hit puberty. Do you think their minds and hearts are equipped to handle that? Of course not. Science is backing this up. Studies are showing higher rates of erectile dysfunction, anxiety, and depression among men with heavy porn use. Now you talk about deep fake porn. 96% of it targets women. It's not just fantasy, it's exploitation. And once that brain gets wired for novelty and intensity, the addiction cycle sets in. Men become weaker, distracted, unmotivated, unable to lead. That's not by accident. That is by design. So what happens when men are weak? Families collapse. Churches lack leaders. Communities lose fathers, mentors, and protectors. I spoke with a young man recently, 16 years old, already consumed by porn. He didn't want it. He hated it. But he's ashamed and felt powerless. That shame doesn't just stay in the bedroom, though. It bleeds into everything in a young man's life: his school, his relationships, his faith, and his purpose. And while this young man is struggling, the culture laughs. The enemy celebrates because weak men don't fight back. Weak men don't build and leave legacies. Weak men don't protect women and children. But where does this responsibility fall? On us, the men, especially the fathers. Fathers, if you don't lead your children into truth, porn will lead them into destruction. If you don't talk to your sons about real masculinity, the internet will tell them what manhood looks like, and it won't look anything like God's design. Maybe you never had those conversations growing up. Maybe you wished your father had stepped in and warned you. That pain you felt as a boy, that's your call to action now. Be the man you know you needed when you were young. But here's the truth. You can't lead if you're still enslaved yourself. Freedom has to come first. Remember what Eldred said, every man longs for a battle. This is your battle. Porn is the enemy's weapon. It's being used to take you out, but if you don't have to stay a casualty. So how do you fight back? This is where I want to give you the 5 practical steps straight out of our Reboot Your Life program. This program has been responsible for leading 1,700 men to reclaiming their freedom, rebuilding their lives, rewiring their brains, and reigniting that fire that God placed inside of them. Step 1 is you got to focus on identity over behavior. If you're struggling and you've been calling yourself an addict, stop labeling yourself as an addict today. You are not your struggle. You're a man of God created with purpose. That fight begins when you stop saying, this is who I am, and start saying, this is what I'm overcoming, and who it is I'm becoming. Step 2, you got to focus on your daily habits. Structure beats willpower. Every day you commit to at least 5 non-negotiables. Movement, prayer, journaling, learning, community check-in. These habits build the foundation for a porn-free life. Step 3, you got to get plugged into real accountability and brotherhood. Isolation is the breeding ground of all addiction. When you bring the struggle into the light, shame loses its power. Now, whether it's our brotherhood here at the Rebuilt Man, your church, or a trusted mentor, you need men who are going to sharpen you. Step number 4 here is you got to train discomfort. Weak men seek comfort. Strong men train it daily. Whether it's cold showers, fasting, or physical training, you need to rewire your brain to lean into resistance instead of running from it. And step 5 here is you got to cast a vision for your future. You see, porn keeps you stuck in the moment. Freedom begins when you lift your eyes. Where do you want to be in 5 years? What kind of husband, what kind of father, leader do you want to become? Write it down, review it daily, pursue it relentlessly. These steps aren't theory. They've helped thousands of men break free and rebuild their lives. And they will work for you too, if you take action. But remember, brother, pornography is not harmless. It's not a private sin with no consequences. It's a weapon. It's a weapon designed to keep you weak, isolated, and ineffective. But once you recognize it for what it is, you can disarm it. You can fight back and you can win. The question is, will you stay a casualty of this war, or will you rise as a warrior? Now, if you're ready to rise, I want to invite you to take the first step with us today. You can join our free 7-day porn resets. In 1 week, you'll get the tools to start rewiring your brain, rebuilding your discipline, and stepping into brotherhood with men who are on the same journey. You can go to therebuiltman.com/7-day reset, or click the link down there below. But don't wait. Don't rationalize. This is your battle, and it starts today. Because when men get free, families get strong, churches get bold, and communities get safe again. Visit therebuiltman.com/7-day reset. Click the link down there in the show notes below. Guys, this is Coach Frank. I love you. From the bottom of my heart, I want to see you guys win this battle. I want to lock arms as warriors, as fighters, in unity as one. Click the link below, guys. I'll see you on the inside. Coach Frank, see you in the next one.